Tulsi, are you consistent on anything? You out here looking like NBA officiating from one day to the next. Shout out to all the subscribers and members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Trump. Come on down. No, the same day as you are swearing in a new Fed chair, we get this.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Tulsi Gabbard resigns as Director of National Intelligence. Are you running an administration or a temp agency? What's happening? What's happening? How did Trump administration turn into the store at the end of the strip mall that got a new occupant every 6 weeks? Huh? Who's the next Director of National Intelligence? Spirit Halloween? Go ahead and put Spirit Halloween in there. We know that's where it's going to end up.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
As an employer, something is definitely wrong with you if all your employees are resigning. How about this one? The whole staff is completely different than the last time you came. How about that? The whole staff is different than the Trump 45 staff. How about that? Your old partner is persona non grata because you cheered on the people that had the noose on the mall, which apparently qualifies them for reparations. That's what I'm learning.
Man, this some more bullshit.
Citing her husband's health, her departure set for June 30th follows the ousters of Kristi Noem as DHS Secretary in March and Pam Bondi as Attorney General last month. Wait a minute. What was the first part of that? You said citing her husband's health? She leaving in June? In her resignation letter, Gabbard said she's stepping down to support her husband, videographer Abraham Williams, as he battles a rare form of bone cancer. Quote, he faces major challenges in the coming weeks and months. At this time, I must step away from public service to be by his side and fully support him through this battle. Gabbard will leave the administration on June 30th. Who gonna say it? Who? You got it. One, cancer sucks, but no one in this administration can be taken at their word. No one. Two, such a rare and aggressive form of cancer that she needs to show up at work for nearly 6 more weeks. She was benched ages ago. What's her actual job now? Sharpening pencils? Yeah. Wishing your husband a very speedy recovery. You said that he's facing challenges in the next months and weeks, but not days, apparently, because we're going to go ahead and keep it pushing until the end of June.
With all due respect, what the
Now, this is from last month. Trump has been asking cabinet officials in recent weeks whether he should replace Tulsi Gabbard as DNI, venting frustration about her leadership and that she shielded Joe Kent, a former deputy who undercut his rationale for the war in Iran. We supposed to pretend like that didn't happen? Huh? We supposed to pretend like that didn't? Huh? Should I go ahead and resign from the Team USA 2028 basketball team? Should I go ahead and I resigned. You know what I mean? Family, Hey, somebody tell Salma Hayek and Halle Berry, I can't do it. I resign. Yeah, I'm good on that.
I'm done.
Cut the show.
At DNI, Gabbard was tasked with overseeing 18 intelligence agencies and advising Trump on intelligence matters, but she quickly came to be seen as ineffectual and irrelevant and appeared out of place in the Trump administration. She was conspicuously absent from both the administration's public messaging on the Iran war and from the behind-the-scenes deliberations. Oh, out of place, you say?
The United States needs to keep our hands off Venezuela and let the Venezuelan people determine their own future. And as president, I would continue that policy, both in countries like Venezuela and others, and end these destructive and wasteful regime change wars that have proven so costly on us, the American people, on our troops and service members and their families, and have proven to cause more problems, increase suffering, increase instability for the people in the countries where we wage these wars. In Latin America especially, we only have to look to history to see what happens when the United States comes in and tries to act as the world's police, toppling governments and leaders and dictators that they don't like. It is the people who always end up suffering the most, both in the short term as well as the long term.
Oh, my bad. That was her contradicting them on Venezuela. Oh, here's Iran.
Intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes.
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, there has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability, end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
And another one.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
Man, she went back on them like Iran was a whistleblower.
Tulsi Gabbard at it again during her confirmation hearing. She said she would protect whistleblowers. Well, guess what? She has now referred the whistleblower who exposed Trump's illicit, illegal, awful phone call with the Ukrainian president back in his first term for criminal prosecution. What does this mean? Well, it puts a chill across anybody who wants to tell the truth about illicit activity by this group of incredibly bad Trump appointees. When you take away the right and the ability for the intelligence community to speak truth to power, you end up in disasters. This is one more indication that Tulsi Gabbard should not be in this job. She went against everything she's promised. And again, the idea that a whistleblower now is going to have to hire lawyers and defend against what would appear to be a completely phony charge brought by this Department of Injustice has ramifications way beyond the whistleblower. It goes to the heart of whether the intelligence community can still speak truth to power and be willing to speak up if they see something wrong and illegal. We all got to stand up, step up, and fight back.
Tulsi, are you consistent on anything? You out here looking like NBA officiating from one day to the next.
I am resigning from the DNC so that I can support Bernie Sanders for president.
Today, I'm suspending my presidential campaign and offering my full support to Vice President Joe Biden in his quest to bring our country together. I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness. I invite you to join me in doing all that we can to save our country and elect President Donald J. Trump.
From progressive to moderate to independent to MAGA, Tulsi Gabbard has been all of them in 10 years. She switched parties, switched sides, and switched allegiances more times than most politicians do in a career. She's a political chameleon, and she's very good at it. But here's the question nobody's asking. If she's not loyal to any party, who is she actually loyal to? Because somebody has her loyalty, and it's not the American people. Most of the people I've shown you in this series wrote Project 2025. They're the architects, but Tulsi Gabbard earned her place in this series because Project 2025 explicitly called for putting a loyalist at the top of the U.S. intelligence community, and she's the one who got the job. As Director of National Intelligence, she sits above all 18 spy agencies, the CIA, the NSA, all of them. She controls who sees the country's most classified secrets. The people who held this job before her spent decades in national security. Tulsi has a business degree and no intelligence background whatsoever. She's overseeing a $75 billion budget and got the job for one reason: loyalty to Trump. To really understand Tulsi Gabbard, you have to go back before her political career even started, before Congress, before the DNC, before Bernie Sanders. What shaped her has nothing to do with any political party and everything to do with how she was raised. The Science of Identity Foundation was started back in 1977 by a reclusive guru named Chris Butler. The group teaches that our government, the media, and our secular institutions are all spiritually corrupt. Tulsi was born into this world. Her father, Mike Gabbard, was a senior disciple who ran anti-LGBTQ campaigns across Hawaii in the 90s, campaigns that were based directly on Butler's ideology. Tulsi was raised in this environment, mentored by Butler himself, and she still maintains ties to this group today, even though she tries to downplay it when the cameras are on. She didn't just switch to Trumpism. Her ideology finally found a political home that matched it. Butler has spent nearly 50 years teaching that you enter corrupt institutions to use them and control them from the inside. When you look at her career that way, she isn't flip-flopping at all. She's doing exactly what she was trained to do. She went from the DNC to Trump in under 10 years. Most politicians pick a side. So why hasn't she?
That's a daggone shame. That lady switched teams more than Scottie Pippen. And moving like that, clearly people will be extremely respectful in this moment.
A lot of people have been saying that she's a Russian asset. She was a big ally with the Syrian former President Assad. And she's just trash. So, I mean, good riddance. Again, sorry about her husband if that's the case. It's a terrible thing. But good riddance. And yeah, another cabinet member down. Anybody who goes against dear leader is not longed for their position serving him. So it's not a surprise.
Bro. Hey, I'm sorry about what you're going through. But you are trash. Just know, just know. Tell your husband if he needs anything, we here for him. You are irredeemable garbage. We can just make both of those clear. In fact, my biggest concern actually for your husband is the fact that he will be spending more time with you. That is actually, that's wild. Boy, you earned it. Hey, and you know what? We got to clear some things up on your way out.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. And I want to have them answered immediately.
Although she had reportedly been sidelined by the administration, Gabbard made headlines in January for her presence during an FBI raid at an elections office in Fulton County, Georgia, despite the fact that domestic law enforcement efforts were outside her purview. We want to clear that up on your way out?
Hi, President Trump, Tulsi Gabbard here. Yeah, it's done. The FBI has just seized all of the 2020 Fulton County voter records. Yeah, we can say whatever we want. We can manipulate whatever we want. All the records are gone. Oh yeah, I'm hiding behind a wall right now, so nobody sees me because this is definitely not within the scope of my job, since there's no foreign intelligence issue in Fulton County. But I am illegally dragging the intelligence community into a domestic political stunt to legitimize your voter fraud lies and to undermine democracy. I know I'm so bad. That's why they call me Cruella de Vil. You know, you would have thought that they would have given Kristi Noem that nickname, since she's the one that shot a puppy, but I guess my skunk hair fits the part. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, sir. Yes, all hail the big lie.
At the hearing in March before the Senate Intelligence Committee, Gabbard denied having participated directly in law enforcement activity, adding, "Nor would I, because that does not exist within my authorities. She was merely there," she said, "at the president's request to observe and, quote, say thank you to the FBI agents. Trump has offered inconsistent explanations for her presence, but said last month he did not know why she was there." And this is how Pick Me ends. Huh? You went to say thank you to the FBI. He said he don't know. He said he don't know. He said he didn't request not nan skunk hair to be down there. So congratulations and good luck moving forward.
What's up, America? Tulsi Gabbard resigns. Tulsi Gabbard has been serving as the Director of National Intelligence under Donald Trump, but today she resigned, or announced she's resigning, to care for her husband that has extreme bone cancer. So that just came out all of a sudden. By the end of June, she will be resigning her position. Now that means Donald Trump will be forced to find a new director to run this department. So more than likely, I probably would have done the same thing, resigning my position to take care of a family member. That's what you should be doing. But it looks like there's definitely a shakeup in the Trump administration in more than one way. So this is pretty big news, and another candidate will need to be chosen, and the confirmation process will start all over again. And of course, coming up to the midterms, Democrats are becoming openly hostile again. So that means more than likely, no matter how good the candidate is, it's going to be a fight just to get something that everybody normally should just have as a matter of course during their administration.
You knew MAGA was going to find a way to embarrass themselves about this somehow. You knew no matter what, MAGA, they were going to find their way to embarrassment and shame in this moment. Democrats have become hostile again. That's interesting. So apparently my man don't got no type of TV, or apparently he does have internet. He was able to put this up. I don't understand. Maybe he got a block on his internet that just prevents Trump messages from getting in at all. You know what I mean? For him to characterize Democrats as being hostile. But here's the issue that I take with it. They're going to prevent him from getting something that presidents should just normally get. So you don't believe in the confirmation process at all then, huh? You don't believe in that at all? So you believe Matt Gaetz should have been confirmed as far as you're concerned, right? We just get to name whoever, right? We just get to name whoever, because Matt Gaetz wasn't confirmed. They packed up his second choice, Pam Bondi, and now Todd Blanche can't even show his face around here. And he only been there a couple of weeks. Huh? As bad as this, you see this junk drawer we got walking around DC, and you want to tell me about that presidents should just normally get? Yeah, if we had responsible people in charge.
He's right, you know.
Excuse me. Why you out here getting all frustrated? He's a MAGA, okay? Obviously, he feels like he should just get whatever he wants despite the resistance of anybody else involved. That's literally their brand. That's why they pick up so many charges.
Damn!
And by the way, Democrats apparently aren't the only ones that have been hostile. Huh? How about the Senate running to vacation to save your boy the shame? But I know you ain't see that because you got the block on your internet. Oh, snap. Just when you think that Republicans can't possibly get any more shameless, Republicans revolt over Trump's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. The Trump administration's push for the fund derailed Senate Republicans' plans to pass the president's priority immigration enforcement package on Thursday. Senators left Washington for their Memorial Day recess, with Republicans saying they were blindsided by the Justice Department's announcement of the fund and at odds over how to rein it in. The issue had become so toxic for the Senate GOP, there were doubts they could muster 50 votes needed to pass the broader bill that would provide tens of billions of dollars to U.S. immigration and customs enforcement and Border Patrol. President Trump had demanded the package land on his desk by June 1st, but GOP lawmakers will now almost certainly miss that deadline. It was just the latest example of the party's revolt against Trump, whose separate request for $1 billion in U.S. Secret Service funding and East Wing ballroom security also seemed likely to be stripped from the package in part because of GOP opposition.
I need you to understand the full picture of what is going on. Trump has reportedly been pushing her out for weeks now. He was frustrated with her when she had her congressional testimony and was polling his own cabinet on whether she should already have been pushed out. So she was on shaky ground. And maybe the story about her husband is true. And if so, thoughts and prayers? What I do know right now is that the Director of National Intelligence, the person overseeing all of America's intelligence agencies, is now leaving. And Trump gets to pick whoever he wants to replace her. No checks, no balances, just another loyalist in one of the most powerful intelligence positions in the world. So please pay attention to who he picks because it is going to matter.
She raises incredible points. And by the way, I love that shirt. That was a really dope album. We have not only allowed somebody with dubious trustworthiness to the country and Tulsi Gabbard to run 18 spy agencies, despite the objections of so many. But now we have a man that has established the only requisite for being named one of his top lieutenants is loyalty, to be able to gain access to the same sensitive information and data. That's right. And we can only hope that it doesn't go as badly as the time Elon got access to it.
Well, it's a very sad case. It's a case we win. We can't lose that case because we have the right to make.
Gabbard's patriotism has also been called into question during her time in national politics as she publicly staked out positions at odds with U.S. intelligence consensus and expressed warm views on Russian President Vladimir Putin and deposed Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad. Yet, despite serious misgivings from Democrats and Republicans, Gabbard was confirmed as Director of National Intelligence in February 2025. That's right. Something presidents should just get, right?
What is it with these women? They're not surviving the Trump presidency. Pam Bondi, gone. Kristi Noem, out. Now Tulsi Gabbard. I was sure Kash Patel was going to be the next one, but I'll take this too.
You know, that's a really good point. The women have had a hard time in this administration. You know, how's Noem doing?
Secret double life of Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband Byron, the pouting busty bimbo photos, and trove of explicit messages. Oh, Byron! Oh, no! Oh, they got Byron!
No, not him. I was on my Kristi Noem. Yeah, how's Kristi Noem doing? Oh, it's Kristi Noem? Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because Kristi Noem went out there first. She figured out who was friendly. I got you. And is that a whole family affair that Kristi Noem got going on? That's it. Be careful. You know what I mean? Working with your significant other is always a dubious proposition. You know, unless it's me, it's the joy of my life. But you know, for other people, I just streets is watching. You know what I mean? But yeah, all right. Best of luck to you. You know what I mean? If that's what you're doing to pick. Oh, it's not? She had to pick up a third job? Escapades Gentlemen's Club, come meet our new dancers, Fantasia and Cinnamon. Only 2 trips to the buffet per visit. But Tulsi, you don't gotta worry about that. Now, you gonna be good because you got your t-shirt business you can fall back on. Yeah, you got your t-shirt business. You go ahead and sell you some merch. You gonna be all right. And you know what? If you get some of this merch based on some of the, you know, what you learned being in administration, people probably buy that. They would. I mean, they not buying it in audio form from Dan Bongino, but people love a t-shirt. Dan Bongino's podcast has slipped into the 90s and now sits behind a morbidly obese man who does shirtless comedy. They had to go to the breaching equipment to go get Kash. And yet somehow he still has the steel reserve to stay in his position. Then you got Pete Hegseth. What has Pete Hegseth not compromised when it comes to our national security? That man just flow through scandal like a white horse, don't he? Or a crazy horse. Both.
Trying to limit the damage. He made the kids back up to a major league regulation 60-foot mound. Yes. Like his children are all Nolan Ryan. You're not worthy here. How are you going to get up there? How you feeling, Val? There it is.
I'm feeling good. You know, I'm just adding a little bit of extra.
Then you get Coward Lutnick, who gets to stay in place despite cutting a $5 million check to House Republicans after scheduling his Epstein testimony. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick donated $5 million to a major House Republican super PAC weeks after arranging a closed-door testimony with congressional investigators examining his past ties to Jeffrey Epstein. And he only had to do that because his name was mentioned so many times, they tried to give him a co-author's credit.
So true.
So you mean to tell me the same man that packed up Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi and shut out Tulsi Gabbard sent his endorsement to Tony Gonzalez? That's the same Tony Gonzalez down in Texas who had to resign completely? Man. And he clearly ain't learned his lesson. He just endorsed Ken Paxton.
Nobody knows politicians better than I do.
Apparently, Tony Gonzalez had connections in the community that he lost when he resigned. So he's trying to get Ken Paxton to get his hooks back in to the seedy underbelly of Texas.
What do a burner phone, a $1,000 Mont Blanc pen, and this cash machine have in common? They are symbols of Ken Paxton's depravity. Paxton used the burner phone and an alias to hide his affair from the mother of his children. Now his wife's divorcing him on biblical grounds.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Well, I will say this. If there's one thing I think of and associate with Ken Paxton, is seedy underbelly. And it is a very seedy underbelly. That is for sure.
Brother, what's that?
That's crazy. So he'll just toss his endorsement, let Kash and Pete Hegseth just run roughshod all over the bodega, but the women get packed up. Man, I can't imagine what's next.
It's just stuff, you know, I'm like a guy with vision. I have an instinct for this kind of thing.
Mark Lamb, a Trump-endorsed Republican candidate to become U.S. Representative for Arizona's 5th Congressional District, is reportedly accused by multiple women of having extramarital affairs. Not Trump-endorsed. Daily Mail, really? Really, Daily Mail? That's what we're doing? I can't believe y'all used to listen to that kind of music. I mean, don't nothing take me out the moment faster than that. How did that ever work for y'all? Hey, men of 50 plus, I need to know. Come on, man.
I'm 56 years old.
Damn! I'm sorry.
Conservative family values sheriff now running for Congress and wife are swingers, said outraged woman who claims they destroyed her marriage. An Arizona sheriff running for Congress on a conservative family values platform allegedly destroyed a friend's marriage by engaging them in his swinging lifestyle. Conservative family values, you say? But of course.
I have a Young Republicans meeting after school. You want to come?
Oh, sure. What do you do at a Young Republicans meeting?
We help those who already have the means to help themselves. Also, we perpetuate the ideal that Jesus chose America to destroy non-believers and brown people.
Mark Lamb, 53, a Trump-endorsed Republican candidate to become U.S. Rep for Arizona's 5th Congressional District, is reportedly accused by multiple women of having extramarital affairs and sending lewd texts. The ex-Pinal County Sheriff and his wife Janelle allegedly sent nude and provocative photos to people in their wild private lives. One of his longtime friends, Jillian Stannard, alleged they engaged her husband in an affair which resulted in their divorce, according to the Arizona Republic. They engaged her husband in a... But not you. They didn't... Yeah, I would have to get divorced. I would have to get divorced. Yeah, that's grounds. That's ground. And he didn't tell you nothing. That's yeah. Fair enough. You know how mad I would be? Even if you just asked, you know what I mean? Even if you just asked, like if you came to me and you were like, hey, would y'all be interested in, you know, a little bit of swinging? But not you though. Not you. We more just see if your wife might.
Police evidence, Terry. Let's go. Hey, you get back here. You make love to my wife.
She alleged that Lamb facilitated the fling between his wife and her husband, Matt Hilsabeck, one of the sheriff's closest friends and the chair of his election committee. Chair of his election committee, you say? But of course. And how does that, I don't understand. So you looking at the dude every day that's putting it down. Family values.
When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the I can do anything.
Hey, why you in such a good mood? Why you floating around here all of a sudden? I don't understand what... He put it down, didn't he?
Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors.
Stannard accused him of involving them in a sordid swinging club. The outlet shared a bombshell report Thursday alleging that Lamb had a habit of sending flirtatious messages and photos to a number of women, in stark contrast to his family man public image. In one reported incident while he was sheriff, Lamb allegedly threatened to send state police after Tammy Peacock in an attempt to stop her from publicly sharing his messages and photos. Use the police department, you say? Well, that would be interesting. If we had an operable justice department, that's something they might be interested in. Let's put a pin in that for 2029. Lamb has denied allegations of sexual impropriety, and his attorneys branded the recent accusations false, baseless, and harmful. We got the photos with Trump, but of course. The Arizona Republic shared dozens of alleged raunchy exchanges and sexual images sent from Lamb's phone and social media accounts from before and after he became sheriff in 2017. Arizona Republic. Influence on the public, huh? I wasn't familiar with your game, but I'm here with it. Yeah. They said we gonna shine the Phoenix sun all over your bedroom. We gonna bring the Cardinals in to cast judgment.
Who drove over here? Let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut?
She's saying you caused her divorce. And he not getting that diamond back.
What? Damn it.
Andrew Gould, a former Arizona Supreme Court justice, now working for Lamb's campaign, told the Republic that rumors had circulated online for years and said they are repeated without verification and often to only cause great reputational and political harm. Why would the same rumors be circulating for years? Why would the same rumors be circulating for years. Yeah, they got photos and messages. But apparently we have a former Supreme Court justice that doesn't believe in evidence. Yeah. Arizona, what you doing?
What the hell is wrong with you?
Lamb has made his experience as a sheriff central to his campaign for Congress, and he titled his 2020 political memoir, American Sheriff, Traditional Values in a Modern World. In a MAGA world, that's for sure. In a MAGA world, 1,000%.
So true. So true. So true.
He and Janelle are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, with Janelle also publishing a book titled The Sheriff's Wife, Holding It All Together Behind the Scenes in Politics. I think you meant behind the sheets. I think that's what you meant.
Brother, what's that?
But according to the report, the couple are open with a close circle of friends about their sexual activity and partners, and they allegedly often shared nude and provocative photos with others. That's right. Trump-endorsed. Modern values. Church. That's so MAGA. Certainly looks to be consistent, does it not, when it comes to the value? Yeah, certainly. That certainly does look to be consistent. Yeah.
So true. So true.
So true.
So true.
Dog, they got a picture of the sheriff tattoo. And it smelled like latex. I can smell the latex on that picture from here. Y'all just some regular coyotes out here. Just some sun devils. But it don't matter what y'all do. It don't matter what we need to find cash. It don't matter what alley we gotta go look for Pete. None of that matters. It doesn't matter what Gonzalez did. It doesn't matter what that picture or your tattoo smelling like. Y'all good. So if Tulsi was engaged in any of that, she would be fine, right? Y'all didn't even call out Brian Noem. It was Kristi. Brian was fine.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Excuse me, did you say Brian was fine? Yeah, don't say that, because they gonna take it the wrong way. You know how they like to get down. They see one of them pictures and get excited. Don't give them no ideas.